2 of the Day of the Dead project that I began earlier this week using Dago Art texture medium and their multi-surface satin paint line. I'm back. The texture medium has dried. Unfortunately, what I wasn't happy with is that it doesn't dry white. I assumed it was going to dry white or clear, and that was an assumption on my part. It doesn't say that anywhere that I remember reading. But it did not dry white, which is not a big deal, but it left a nice texture that I wanted on there, and my sugar skull was able to adhere itself as the texture medium dried on the canvas. So what I'm just going to do is an easy fix for the problem that I had, because I wanted the background to be white, is I'm just going to use some multi-surface satin paint from Americana and Dago Art in Cotton Ball is what it's called, and I'm just going to use that to paint over where the texture medium is so I can have the white background that I wanted. And then we'll move on from there. And I should remind you that I am in my Art Journal Love studio, the studio inside of my home. It is a Friday, so normally the boys would be in school, but their school is closed today. So the boys are here and my husband is here, so you will hear background noises from the house. Fair warning. I did not shake that good enough. Excuse me. Something caught in my throat. So there we have it. I've made it white. And get out my trusty journal page again for the excess paint. Here. I love making journal page backgrounds in this manner. They just turn out so special. It's just such a blend of textures and colors and mediums. Actually enough white paint here. See what I paint over that whole page almost. But nothing, you know, just randomly putting the excess paint so we don't waste it. So now I'm going to hit it with the heat tool. Apologize for the noise. The white is not as deep as I want it to be, so I'm going to put another coat of white on here. Now that this is dry. Maybe I should have not thought I had excess paint until I dried it, but it looked pretty deep to me the way I wanted the white to show up. I actually think what I'm going to do is use a bit of heavier paint. I have some heavier bodied acrylic paint. That will give me coverage quicker. Than the fluid paint. I'm just going to use a bit of this, if I can get any out. I'm going to use a bit of this to help us speed up the purposes of the video. I want to keep layering and layering and layering and layering for you guys. Not very fun to watch. So we'll just quickly use a heavier body paint that will give us quicker coverage. Not necessarily better, just quicker because it's heavier bodied. It's thicker. It lays on thicker. I'm sorry. God was recording, which means I can't do some of the things I do when I create, like sit the project in my lap. Sorry, some fleck of something got on my canvas. Trying to get it off. Okay, that should do it. And all I'm doing is put in the excess paint in my journal. Hit it with heat tool again. Excuse me 1 second, I'm going to get some clear water for this next part. Okay, I do apologize again for that break in the video. Now we're going to start to paint and embellish our canvas. Oh, but before I do that, I want my edges to eventually end up black. And some things that I am going to adhere to the surface of the project, I don't want to inadvertently slip when I go to paint the border black. I don't want to inadvertently slip and get the decorations as well. So I'm going to paint my edges black now to have that part out of the way. And we have the Americana multi-surface satin in black tie that I will be using for the edges. If you'll excuse me again, I just got clear water. I don't want to make that water black. So let me just get another container of water. Okay. So first I'll do my edges. And again, this is to prevent me from myself from inadvertently getting black paint on any of the further decorations and embellishments that I do to the project. I'm going kind of slow because I don't care that it gets on the front of the project. It actually looks nice when it does that, but I don't want it to be globbed on the front. I want it to be just a natural effect of me painting the edges, that some of it shows on the front of the project. So I'll go a little slow. Now I have black paint all over my work surface, which is a no-no for me. Any paint, because I generally don't pay enough attention, and then I get it all over the place on the wrong parts of the project and whatnot. So before I paint this final side, I'm going to wipe the paint off and also put down some paper. Just to be safe. And we'll go over this black side again in a second coat to make it nice and deep. And again, I like using a dry brush or as dry as possible, so when I rinse I always dry my brushes off. I'm going to hit these sides with the heat tool just so we can get a good second layer of paint on. I just thought about something as I was drying the edges. I realized that I'm actually going to paint this white. I'm going to give it some color other than black and white. And so maybe I shouldn't have painted the sides, but since I need to put a second coat on of the black, then it's fine. We can leave that as is, and we'll use the second coat to fix any problems that arise from us painting the top. So for the top, I'm going to use the colors that I used in the face of the sugar skull, which is orange sherbet and flamingo, also the Americana multi-surface satin. So we're going to but this time I don't want them opaque. I want them sort of like a water color. So that's why I needed to get the clear water, so it wouldn't tint the color of the paint. But I will be using lots of water with the paint. So in my clear water jar, I just make my paintbrush really wet and I just add some water in to the color until it's fairly thin. You might have to do it a couple times. If you have a spray bottle, you can just spritz a little water in and mix it around. And once it's pretty watery, you just want to start painting it on randomly on the canvas. Again, we're going to I'm going to be using two different colors, so we're going to do this with both. So you don't want to paint maybe all over the canvas because you want to get both colors in. So I'll do the same thing with the second color. Water it down. Let's make this a little easier. And it didn't matter that the water is a little bit pink because I want the colors to blend. Oops. Mistake there on top of my sugar skull. I have to be a little more careful. And I'm just painting color in where the pink is not. I'm not trying to necessarily cover up all of the white either. But just bring some bright, happy colors onto the palette of our project. Because it is a celebration, after all, now isn't it? I hold the palette up closer so you can see what I've done. I don't necessarily want the white covered, but I did want to add some more color in. So now that I've done that, I can go ahead and put that second coat of black around the edges because I'm done with the color on top. I am happy with how that is. It's the way I wanted it to be. So now I'll put my second coat around the edges and make that black pop. And now, it's nice and deep. Then I can use the heat tool and dry the whole piece. just make sure my sides are dry. I don't want to inadvertently mess them up. Okay, now that that's done and my sides are dry, before I dumped this paint accidentally somewhere in the wrong place that it shouldn't be. Let me do clean up here by pouring it into my ever ready journal. How about it smush? Start smushing the pages together to distribute the paint. And we can't forget the black. They are going to be some lovely journal pages, I'm telling you. I just love how that comes together. Okay. I have these 3 flowers that I made out of tissue paper and a punch that I'm going to adhere to the bottom here. And then I have some Flower Soft. I don't know if you all know what Flower Soft is. I know that's used a lot in scrapbooking. It's a great mixed media tool, but it's like a shredded rubber. It feels rubbery to me. And I'm using bright pink and bright orange to go with the colors that we've been using all along. And I'm just going to adhere it in sprinkled spots around the page. But first we'll adhere our flowers because we know where they go. They have a home specific. Sorry guys. Name I take glue, hot glue. I love hot glue and hate hot glue at the same time. I hate the strings of glue. Drive me nuts. Lord, they drive me nuts. Okay, flowers are down, and I can stop fighting with glue strings. There are a couple on the sugar skull that I'll get off. Got my flowers down, happy with that. And now for the Flower Soft. Like I said, it feels rubbery to me. Like shredded rubber. I don't know what material it is. Oh, I'm thinking I'm in a camera view, I'm sorry. But that's what it looks like. It adds texture and obviously color. I'm just using some matte gel medium. And I am going to find the right paint. Highlight brush. Just take a little matte gel medium and spread it down where I want some Flower Soft, and I'll put some on and mash it in. Now there is some that will come out off when I stand it, obviously. But for the most part, whatever gets on that matte gel medium will stick once the matte gel medium is dry. And I just do that randomly all around, and using both colors of the Flower Soft. And I like to stand it up and test to make sure. Any adhesive will do. Liquid or soft adhesive like this Matte Gel Medium and Soft will allow you to adhere this. White glue will work. And I just stand it up periodically to shake this fallout, as I call it. I'm just going to put just ever so slightly a little bit in the center of her flower. There's the pinky pinch. Lightly tap it off. Cleans up the Flower Soft. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Get closer so you can see the Flower Soft. And the flower. The edging. Very nice, quick, easy texture project. You can see the texture from the texture medium. Very nice project, easy, quick and fun to do to celebrate the Day of the Dead, All Souls Day, and to remember your ancestors. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the project.